Hello, my beautiful sunnies. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. So today is going to be a tad bit of a different video than our normal Let's Plays, but I wanted to show you guys how to build as a newbie in The Sims. So if you're anything like me and you normally don't get into building and you normally don't make your own builds, you normally just download things from the gallery, whether that's because you're intimidated by building, you just don't like building, you feel like you're not good at building, or you just think it's easier and quicker to just find builds off the gallery. No matter what the reason is, I'm going to show you some tips and just basically how to build as a newbie if you've never even tried attempting to build before, because I'm a newbie as well. So maybe the things that I'm going to be showing you will resonate with you. The first time I've ever built in The Sims 4 and set out to build something and have almost completed it. I haven't completed it yet because it is a legacy challenge from Rags to Riches, so I don't have enough money. So I haven't finished the build yet. But the first time I have ever really built anything in The Sims 4 is in my Very Veggie Legacy Challenge. I'm working on our Sims small living business. So that is literally the only time I have ever built. And I had such a good time and I learned so much that I decided that I would make a video showing what I learned with you guys, just to kind of give you some tips if you're also new and you can't follow along with a lot of the really good, big, more professional, should I say, builders in The Sims 4. So I'm just going to be kind of showing you what I learned from other creators and kind of what I do. So I will say I learned a lot from the video made by Sims4. She made a build guide and I really followed that and it was really, really helpful. So if you haven't seen her video, definitely go check it out. As a newbie, I'm going to show you kind of what I learned, what I took away from her suggestions, and all the good things like that. So let's just get right into it. Now, the first thing I'm going to talk about is finding inspiration. Now, in all my time playing The Sims 4, I have loved saving different builds from Pinterest into my phone and maybe looking up the gallery ID and downloading them into my game for later. I never really considered saving inspiration for actually building myself because, like I said, that has just always intimidated me. But obviously Pinterest is the place to go when looking for inspiration. You can look up real houses and real buildings and architecture that actually exists for inspiration. Me personally, it helps me visualize it a little bit more if I just scour what people have made in The Sims themselves already, because it kind of just gives me an idea of what it's going to feel like in The Sims. So I do look up ideas of real buildings because I do have goals to recreate things in real life in The Sims, but I mainly like looking at what other people have made because it just kind of transport me into the game more. The next thing I'm going to be talking about really quickly are cheats. Now, to open your cheat box, you're going to press Control-Shift-C. Now, normally what you used to have to do, and I don't know if you still have to do it because I don't and it works perfectly fine for me, but you used to have to type in testing cheats with a space and either true or testing cheats on and then press enter to turn the cheats on. But one day I just typed in a cheat without thinking and it worked. So I don't know if they made it automatically when you open the cheat box, cheats are on. So I don't know what that's about, but I don't have to type that in anymore. I could just go straight into typing a cheat. So the first cheat I'm going to talk about is bb.move objects. This will essentially allow you to move items pretty much anywhere you want. So if you have any weird gaps or spaces, or you need to move it to where it looks better and make it look more aesthetic, or just add more things to a surface that normally wouldn't let you. Normally items just snap to a grid and that's the spacing, but this allows you to move it pretty much anywhere you want practically. So we're going to push enter and move objects cheat is on. And then to close the cheat box, you would just repeat Control-Shift-C. And really quickly, I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate one of the hotkeys. So I'm going to grab a chair and I'm just going to quickly show you. So if I grab a chair and place it down, see the way it's snapping to a tile? Well, when I click F5, now look, it goes in even smaller increments. So you could toggle that on and off. I'm going to press it again and then you can kind of see how it jumps. But if you want to have completely free placement, just hold down the Alt key and look. And this has been my best friend that I wish I knew sooner. And yeah, that's going to really save you if you are struggling. And I'll demonstrate when we start building. But yeah, that's just something really helpful that I never knew before that I'm so glad I finally learned. So once again, when F5 is not toggled on, it snaps to half tile placement. And when you press it and toggle it on, it goes to quarter tile placements. So just note that down. And then if you wanted to make multiple copies of this chair faster, you would just place it, hold down shift, and then just make the copies as so. And then if you want to size it up or down, you will hit your left or right bracket keys. So left is obviously down and right is going to be sizing it up. It might work differently on each keyboard. It might be shift and then holding that bracket down. But for me, it works just pressing the bracket keys, and look how small you can make things and look how big you can make things. And then to raise things up or down, you'll do shift and then 9, and then that'll raise it up. And then if you just continuously press shift and then keep pressing the 0, it'll lower it back down. And that's going to do it for the hotkey section of this video. All right, so I'll be inserting a picture of what I am using for my inspiration, and we're just going to go ahead and get started and jump right into it. So this is where we're going to start with our shell and like the main structure of our build. So it's not going to be like too massive. So I'm going to just grab my room tool and kind of just eyeball what I want it to look like. I can make it a little bigger because it doesn't have to be exact. This looks fine for now, and I can always adjust the size later. And this is essentially going to be our main body that we add any bump outs to that we want. So we're going to go up a level, and we are going to just copy this and place it right on top. And now you have a 2-story house. So I'm actually going to make this a tad smaller. I think I'm going to just grab this and bring it in, as well as the top one. And I think that's a little bit better. And then I'm going to go ahead and start creating my bump outs. So I'm going to grab the room tool and just kind of make a small bump out here on the side. And then I'm also going to do the same on the back as well, and then copy it. So now I am going to attach the covered porch, and I'm just going to kind of bring it out as wide as I want this porch to be. And I think I'm going to put it kind of like all the way across the front. Maybe like this is kind of how the picture had it. And then I'm just going to knock out the walls, and then we have our little covered porch going for us right now. And then I'm going to go ahead and add kind of like a little area out here on the side as well, maybe about like that. And then I'll also knock out these walls because I also want to make this sort of like a little porchy area. So I'm just going to knock these walls out for now, and then I'll leave this here for now. I don't know if I'm going to leave this there covered or not, but we'll just keep it there for now. Next up is roofing. So I'm going to just select the normal gable roof, and I'm just going to put it on here, and we're going to rotate it this way. You could just literally size it however you want. So I'm just going to extend it, and then of course I'm going to make it taller, and then I'm going to stretch it out, and I'm not going to keep it this tall. I am going to go ahead and lower it back down, and I might go ahead and actually lower it again like that. And I'm going to keep actually bringing it lower. We're going to make the roof a little bit taller. And then we're also going to add a room in the center, kind of like right here, because the house in the picture that I am going off of has a room kind of like right here as well. But we're just going to kind of size it to how we want. We're going to go ahead and take our roof. We're going to rotate it, and then we're just going to add it to the top of this little room right here. And then we're going to shove this over, and I want it to kind of be like the little shallow look that we've got going on. So I'm going to go ahead and just lower it, and I think that's good. And if you don't want this like little gap right here, so a little trick I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this roof, and then we're just going to like move it like that. And then we're going to take this little like curved arrow and just bring it in like that. And you don't see the roof anywhere. There's no leaks, and it just looks very seamless. And we're going to go ahead and add a little roof over here to this little side room. So we're just going to rotate it, and then we're just going to kind of size it to fit. So we're just going to shape it. We're going to bring it down. We're going to bring it in. We're going to move it and set it backwards until we get something that kind of looks like that. And if you want it flat, you could always lower it even more. And I think that's good for now. I might go ahead and change some things, but right now that looks pretty good. And then of course we can't forget this like little back section, lower it so we kind of get that flat look like we have in the front. And then of course, if you want to cover this little gap, we're going to copy it, place it back a little bit, and you have a very seamless looking roof. And of course, we'll go ahead and add a chimney as well. So let's just put it about right here, and we can actually size this down if you think a smaller one looks better. I don't know what I really want necessarily right now. I think sizing it down, it makes it look a little better. We could just play around with it. I think that looks a little bit too big. I think I actually really do like the way the smaller one looks. So we'll just place it there for now. And I am going to go ahead and raise this whole build up a little bit. So we have a little porch. So I'm just going to click it. I'm going to raise the platform, maybe like that. That looks about right. And as far as putting like brick and like siding and things on the house, I like doing a mixture like both like the brick and the siding. I find that I really like the way that looks together. Obviously you could do all one, like if you just wanted to do like all one thing, you could. And then I also like the way it looks when you have like maybe one of the bump outs be a different color. Of, like, for example, if I did, let's just find a good siding. Let's just do like, oh, I don't know, like this gray siding over all of the front section. Like let's say you did like all blue siding. Let's just go ahead and do it like right here for reference. And then you wanted to do maybe brick, one of the bump outs to be like brick. Let's do like this. Like I think that could look really nice as well, but it's just up to you. And that's not really the vibe I'm going for. I'm going to go for something more like this brick. I'm going to like cover the entire front bump out here in brick. I have been wanting to use this brick on a build anyways, so I'm going to go ahead and do it like something like that. And then I'm also going to go ahead and color this bump out as well in the brick. And this one is the prefab stone slab from the bowling pack. So I'm going to do like all the bump outs in the stone. So I'm going to come back here and do the same thing. And then I'm going to do like the rest in a kind of coordinating color siding. So I'm going to go down here to the siding, and then I'm just going to pick something that's just kind of like neutral. Actually, I think I might actually do brick. You know, I didn't think of that. I could do like another color of brick, like a more neutral. I just want like a natural toned like brick. I think that's like too small. I don't know. Let me go and look through the selections that we have. This is quite cobbled. Ooh, we could do this one. I don't know. I like the way the gray stones in the other one looks. We'll come over here and we'll do this other side. And then I will just add some shutters up here, and I'll just do these white ones, these like smaller white ones here and like here. And you can alt place them as well, but I think when you do that and you try moving the lot, it doesn't count it as like part of the build. So like, it's just for windows, I tend to like to just let them snap on the grid. They'll move with the house as one if you end up moving it around. So I'm gonna leave it like that for now. And then I'm just gonna basically just pick out different windows for different areas of the house. Just figure out what I like. So like this one over here, I don't know what color, like right now I'm just using white, but you could totally go for like this one that has some like brown in there. So like I'll put this one like maybe right there. And then of course I'm gonna go ahead and fill the rest of that build up with windows, but I also want to look at like the little flower arrangements. Like here's just a base game one, and we could just like select these white flowers and go under there, and we could do the same under these windows as well. And if you want, if you don't like how high they look up like on the windows, I don't like how they're covering like the entire bottom half of the window pane. So I'm going to go ahead and alt click this one and just kind of put it where I want. I'm going to do the same with this one. And I like the way that looks a lot better. So things like that, I definitely use alt to place them. And I'm just going to go around and select different windows, and I'll meet you back here when I'm finished. Alrighty, and this is what it's looking like so far. I just went ahead and picked a set of doors that I liked. This one is from Cats and Dogs. So, and I also added another one on this like side porch area. So I think that's all I need as far as doors go, unless we start adding a back door. I might add a back door somewhere. I don't know if I will or not though. We're just gonna play it by ear. And also to add some more realism to builds, you can go ahead and take this vent if you really wanted and like stick it somewhere. You could like stick it on like the side of the house there, or like on the other side of the house. So it's really up to your preference. I think I'm gonna go ahead and actually stick it on this side of the house, to be honest. And I really just think it adds something to the house and like makes it more real. You could also do the same with like these corbels. If they add something to your house, you can just like put them right here like under the roof, which I think that's really cute. I don't think I'm gonna do that, but that's just another option. Okay, so I added these pillars out front, and I absolutely love the way that makes this whole thing look. It just definitely makes it a little bit more grand and adds some charm in my opinion. So I'm gonna keep that like that. And then I'm also going to add like a fence and then obviously some stairs up to the porch. Okay, and we're gonna do the same thing to this little porch. So I copied the pillars and I'm just gonna place one here and place one here. And then I'm gonna also do the same with the picket fence. I'm going to place one here, place one here, and then I'll place one in the middle and then just kind of take out the middle section. So like I'll take out the middle fence so then we can put some stairs there. I'm also going to copy the stairs here and place it right here. And then we're going to shrink it a little bit. And then we have a little walkway right there. The next thing I want to do is add something from like the spandrel section. Now, I've never used this section before, but I think it'd be really, really cute if we put something from this section like up here. Now I found this one that I really like, but I'm not sure if there's a color that's gonna go. I guess that one could go, but there's not like an all white option. I really like the way that one is. That one looks a little bit too heavy for what I'm going for. So I think I'm gonna go with this option. You wouldn't think it would fit because it's from the vampire pack, but it's the ornate Victorian roofline. And I think it's really simple in between. And then it gives like a little swirl effect right here. So I think I'm going to go ahead and go with this one. It looks really nice in my opinion, and I really love it. And I think I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing over here to this section. And I think that looks really nice. So if you're new at building, I really highly suggest that you try adding that to, if you're using pillars, because I definitely think it adds a lot of charm to your builds. And then I'm also going to add some more columns. I'm going to copy this and maybe like add it to the outside of some of these like bump outs, because I think that looks really cute as well. And I'll add it to this one as well. And then I'll just raise it up to the ceiling. I think that looks really nice. I'm going to go ahead and do the same to the other side. And I think that looks good. It's not really poking out of the roof or anything. And I think that looks really nice. And I'm not sure if I want to keep this like this or not yet. I don't know how I like the way this looks, just being a big like brick piece. I kind of want to add something that will like divide it right here. I'm going to keep thinking and see if I want to change that, but it's cute, but I feel like I feel like it needs something, but I'm not sure what yet. And I'm going to show you another trick I learned from Sims4 that I never knew before. So what you're going to do is change your view to walls down. And then we're going to go down to the second floor. And then you're going to push B to go into like your walls and empty rooms menu. Or you could just, of course, click the wall of the house and it'll go straight there. And then you're going to click this flat square right here. And it is easier to have the grid showing for this part. And we're basically going to put this anywhere we have a porch. So we're just going to line it up with the porch and we're gonna just extend it like this. And then you would copy it over and size it to this one as well, but I'm not gonna leave the ceiling over that. I'm actually gonna take this off, so I don't need to put this over there. And then we're gonna select our exterior trim and you're gonna pick whichever one you want. And then as you can see, what that does is add a room. So now we can add our exterior trim to the roof above the front porch. So now I'm just going to add a trim there. I'm going to add it right here because I think that's the missing touch that I think looks really nice. Just kind of dividing this a little bit. It kind of gives it some dimension, I think. And then I'm going to just trim the rest of the roof in just this white selection. For our little pergola out here, we are going to use the Smooth Keeper fence right here. And I'm going to leave my ceiling above the porch for now. Leave it there. And you're going to select this Smooth Keeper fence option. I'm going to select it in the color white, and then you're going to click place fences by drawing. And then I'm just going to go up here and kind of just make lines in the middle. So I'm going to go like here, here, and then I'm going to go across like this. And I actually think that's good. And then I'm going to use my sledgehammer and I'm going to knock out the entire ceiling so it looks like that. And I think that looks super, super cute, but we're not done yet. I'm gonna go ahead and grab some like greenery. I want to like find some shrubs, and I'm just gonna click the number 9 to bring it up, and you could just place them literally on top if you wanted to do that. And I'm just gonna kind of play around with the plants and see what I like best, and we'll come back when that's finished. Okay guys, I realized that I didn't want my house that tall. So unless you want your house as tall as how I was doing it, but if you would rather it look like how I'm about to change it, now you can listen to what I'm about to do. So I realized I didn't want it that tall, and I realized the reason why it was that tall is because I had added 2 stories and then added a roof, but I wanted actually a little bit smaller, more like the picture. So I'm going to go, this is a great learning opportunity. So I have just my bottom layer and I built the ceiling. So now what I'm going to do is go ahead and build the roof now. I'm not going to add another floor. I'm just going to build the roof. So now I'm just going to put this roof back to size. This is what I was trying to go for. So I think I'd rather have it like that. So I'm going to go ahead and fix the roof situation. All right. So I ended up using these low-lying pale yellow flowers on top of the pergola, and I think they're really, really cute. I like the way how they kind of look like they're kind of going underneath and over. Very, very natural. I added more flower boxes to the back side of the house, and this is the part that I'm sure most people struggle with, at least I do, and that is the like foundation like pattern. I think I'm gonna go with the spine chilling one. Okay, and I just added some corbels to the front and back like forward facing roof because I thought that added a little extra something, and it might add some charm as well, so I might as well. And then I also added some porch, like some flooring to the porches, and I just added this like light colored plank. I think it ties in nicely. Obviously if you don't like it, you can change it. So now we're ready to like jump into some landscaping. You can either go here to the outdoor plants, or you can go to the whole debug menu, which has tons more options of like free plants to use. Control Shift C, and you're gonna type in bb.show live edit objects. Press enter, and then after that you're gonna type in bb.show hidden objects. But I'm not gonna be really using debug right now because I don't want to. I'm just gonna keep things simple and use just the trees that come in game because they're good enough for me. So a good tip is to hide anywhere you don't like on your build with like trees and plants. I don't really have an area that I don't really like other than maybe this like roof on this side. Like, I don't know, not really. I don't really have a problem with anything too much, but I am going to go ahead and kind of mimic off of my inspiration photo and take this slender cypress tree and take it and put it in this like area. It's way too big, so I'm going to go ahead and size it down with my left bracket key, and that is a little bit too small, so we're going to go up one more. We're going to go ahead and push Alt so we can place it exactly where we want. That's probably good. It can clip the roof a little bit because obviously plants, when they get too close, that tends to happen. So I think that's a good spot. We could come on this side and put a really big one if you wanted, which I'm going to come out maybe like right here and place it. And then I'm going to take this upright cypress tree and I'm going to place this one. I might size it down. Oh, that's sizing it up. Wrong way. I might size it down and like place it, like rotate it a little bit and like place it right here. So it kind of covers the roof, but it's not like overflowing into like the front porch. So maybe something like that. And then obviously we'll fill in with like different bushes and flowers and things. So I added some like flowers out in front along with some stones. I added like a bush over here, and in the back I added some, so I didn't go too crazy. But now for the stone pathway. So I picked this one out. So I just went to the floor and ceiling patterns, picked one out that I like. I'm gonna go ahead and blend like the lines in a little bit more. So what we're gonna do is go to terrain tools. We're gonna select the one that we want, this smarter starter soil, and I'm gonna adjust the softness to the highest, and we're just gonna go along here and kind of just like blend it in to the surrounding areas more. And I think that looks good, and we can adjust it a little bit more if we like, but honestly, I think not being perfect is a lot more realistic. And I'm gonna actually go around the edges of my flowers so it looks a little bit more realistic as far as like the dirt underneath the bushes go, just kind of like on the outside. Same thing kind of over here. Just gonna kind of outline my plants with this dirt, and it makes it look that much more realistic. So now to start on the backyard, I'm going to use this fence right here, a simple fence, and I'm going to use it in the color, just this like light beigey color. You could start it from the house and go like this, but it adds on the foundation and I don't like that. So I'm going to start it away from the house, connect it all the way. Normally I used to just go like this, but I recently learned that making, some shape in the fence and like changing it up a little bit. We could do something like this. And I think this gate right here is pretty charming. So I'm going to go ahead and use that one. And then we'll just add some like landscaping and different things and just kind of like play around and see how we like things. Hey, and I just took that same like stone we used for the front walkway and I added like a back patio area. And then I added some plants around the trees. Oh, and I also added that smooth keeper fence along the edge just to kind of give it a more polished look. And we're just gonna get into decorating and I'll show you what I have once we're finished. Okay, and this is what the house is looking like so far. I did go ahead and add a rocking chair out here in the front on the front porch. I'm not sure if I showed you that already. This chair right here is custom content. So if you don't have this chair, you will not have this in your game, but I just added this like right here on the side porch. And then I added some swings and then a hot tub for funsies and then just some like outdoor furniture and have this like outdoor living area, which I think is really nice and cozy. I'm not doing anything on the inside right now because I want to upload this to the gallery completely empty so you guys can do whatever you want with this shell. And that is pretty much all I am going to do for this build. I'm not even going to touch the inside or the layout. I will upload this to the gallery and then you guys can figure out how you want to lay things out and if you guys want to change anything. But I'm going to wait to do the inside once I figure out, you know, what sim is going to live here and to figure out what layout suits them. I do kind of have an idea of how things will go. Maybe this room can be like kind of a little kitchenette and I'll probably end up knocking out all of these walls, to be honest. So I know for sure that I'm not going to have these in the way. So you guys can figure out where you would like to put stairs, how it will better suit your Sims and who you're going to have living in here. I think this section would be really nice for a kitchenette or even this section. So yeah, it's up to you, completely up to you. I think this is a really cute little home and I'm just going to leave it like this and upload it to the gallery so you guys can fix it however you guys want. And yeah, guys, that was this super adorable little home. I used that picture off Pinterest for inspiration and then kind of modified it to how I liked it best. And of course, I added my own little touches to the outside and I think it's super, super adorable. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Please consider leaving a like and subscribing to my channel if you enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next one.